All right, so this is going to be a basic Procreate tutorial, just using some basic tools and just an overall introduction to the program. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to make a new document, a new drawing. So you're going to press this plus button up here. And just for this lesson, we're going to do screen size. We don't have to worry about these other options yet. That's more for later. So you can zoom in and out by holding with your fingers, two fingers, closer together, further apart. And the first thing I want to show you is layers, which is these two squares up here. Now, drawing in Procreate is not like drawing on a piece of paper. It's more like drawing on glass. And each layer is a different pane of glass that you can draw on. And if you add a layer, you're not drawing on the same piece of paper or the same piece of glass. You're drawing on a piece of glass that's on top of it. This way, if you're drawing up here instead of on here, you don't get to ruin the stuff that's down here, right? It's its own thing. And then you mix them all together at the end. So when you make a new document, you already start off with layer 1. So we're just going to leave that. The paintbrush icon up here are all your different brushes. You have different options on the side: inking, drawing, painting, airbrushing, calligraphy, all different categories of what brushes can look like. For this, I'm going to go to inking. I'm going to use syrup. I like syrup because it starts off small, and the harder you press, the wider the brush gets. On the side over here, you can adjust the size. So what I want you to do just for a little bit is pick a brush, mess with the size, and do some random drawings, right? If you start off light and you press harder, it gets heavier, and then it goes off to light again. If you want to undo something, you can press this button here, and you'll undo it. So mess around with a couple of brushes, see what they do, and see which one you like the best. Now I'm going to go back to inking and then syrup just for this next part, because I want to go over colors and shapes. So far we've just been drawing in black. If you want to change the color, you can go up to this little circle over here, and you have a color wheel. In the middle are the different tones, or shades, sorry. And the hues are all along the side, all the different colors. So, just like you were messing around with the brushes, you can pick a color, see what it looks like, pick a new brush and a different color, and see what it looks like. Right? Just experiment, get used to using different brushes and different colors, and see what you can come up with. Right? We're not trying to make anything specific right now. I think one of the biggest mistakes is to just jump right into a program without getting used to the feel of like actually what drawing can feel like on a digital program instead of on a piece of paper. And now let's say I've done a lot here and I want to get rid of it. This button over here is the eraser tool. Just like the brushes, you can actually choose what your eraser looks like. I'm going to stick with syrup for now, and you can erase. Now, when you're erasing, it'll always go to what the background color is. So for mine, it's white. But instead of erasing this entire thing, which might take a long time, you can go into your layers, and then you can slide your layer to the side until the clear button comes up. And now we're back to normal. All right. So once you get the hang of that, and if I'm going too fast, you can pause the video and mess around with some brushes and colors more. But once you do get the hang of that, I'm gonna go back to a black brush, and I'm gonna draw some shapes. So a shape is any time you draw a line that's closed, right? We have the outside and we have the inside. The cool thing about shapes in Procreate, as opposed to drawing on a piece of paper or painting, is instead of coloring it in manually, what I can do is I can press and hold, not press and hold, I can click and drag from the color option, and I can let go, and it fills in my shape the color that I want it to. Now I pick a different color, and I drag it to the outside of the shape becomes the color that I decided. So now let's practice with a few of those. Let's make a few shapes and fill them in a few different colors. Now let's say you wanted to make a circle. You can try and keep a steady hand and draw the best circle that you can draw. And it might not be perfect. Or instead, you can use Procreate's ability to draw perfectly straight lines. And the way you do that is once you draw your shape, you don't let go, you hold it, and it snaps into place. Now this might be an oval, right, or a circle. If you hold with here, it's happening very slightly. If you hold with your other finger, it turns it into a perfect circle. Now you can do this with rectangles. Notice how if I tap my finger, it makes it straighter, or it makes it at right angles. And if I let go with my pencil first and then let go with my finger, it stays that way. This also works with lines. Right? I had a wiggled line, I press and held, and it made straight. Now I can decide where to put my straight line. This is really good if you want to make, I don't know, a horizon line or something. Or if you want to go crazy and practice with some zigzags, there you go. And just like any other shape, you can fill it in with different colors. There we go. So now I want to do one more recap of the layers, right? That's these two squares up here. I'm going to make two shapes. One here. Then I'm going to go to my layers and click this plus button to make a new layer. I'll change my color up. And I will make another shape. Now, let's say I didn't like the way my second shape came out and I wanted to erase it. If these were on the same layer and I started erasing, I would erase the black shape underneath it too. But because I had the forethought to put it on another layer, if I want to erase the red, instead of white underneath, it's my black shape. So layers not only help you stay organized, but it stops you from destroying your own drawing if you make a mistake. So while you're messing around with these tools, I would get used to the idea of using a different layer every time you make a new shape. This way, if you don't like the way one looks, you just get rid of that shape and you don't have to worry about erasing the whole rest of your drawing. And that is all I have for the introductory stuff. If you are not comfortable with it, watch the video again, follow through the steps again, pause the video, and mess around with different brushes and shapes and colors until you get the hang of it. And when you do, you can go on to lesson 2. Thanks.